What's up guys, my name is ESO and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be restoring our good friend. Now we have the crystal heart which we found from the Dwemer boss last episode. If you guys haven't seen the previous episodes, I've linked them down below in the description. It's quite a big series, so you know you might want to go and figure out what's going on first before watching this video. Why is it laughing? God. Crystal heart is this here. God, I think if we put his heart inside Lasha or whatever her name is, like, it's gonna turn her into some kind of crazy evil thing. Like this. I mean, you can't forget that these are basically soul gems. There are people's souls are trapped inside here. And like, whatever soul this guy had, it was a fucking dark soul. It made him fill his chest with other bodies of his brothers and sisters to survive. What an absolutely creepy story. Do you imagine? Dwarven Bow of Thunderbolts. I can actually use that now and again. I loved how that worked though when, you know, the front portcullis got blown open and destroyed. There's a lot of dwarven armor here. There's also a Centurion Dynamo core, which is interesting because he must have taken that out and replaced it with the crystal heart. So okay, now we got to run back up to the house, I guess. So I'm going to cut the next bit out and we're going to run over there. Oh, what the hell? I just ran over some bones and I'm bleeding now. It's a little bit creepy, I'm not going to lie. I expect that we're going to see that girl again at some point. I don't want that to be now. I don't like it. Please no. She's not there, thank God for that. Oh, I was fully expecting to walk around this corner. Thank you, RK. Thank you so much. And then see her again. Jesus. Please no. Okay, we're back outside and it's daytime. It feels good, you know. It feels very good. I'm very wary. I thought maybe I could go underwater and there'd be something there, but there's not. So I just literally jumped into a puddle. Lol. Okay, let's go and speak to Lahar about the crystal heart then. I've not read the journals in here, but maybe I should because they might provide more insight into the story that I don't already know. Maybe I should take some time to read those, actually. Oh God, what's happened? That's not good, is it, Lahar? I have the crystal heart. Here it is. Is it too late?
I don't know. We shall find out. I have fashioned a soul transference machine. It is there on the table.
They're a bit weird.
Use it to give Lamashtu a new crystalline heart.
How did you make it?
I used some bits and pieces scattered about the keep. It is elementary. Now, please follow my instructions as I relate unto you. First, open her chest plate.
Open her chest. Seems a little bit inappropriate.
Next, retrieve the glowing crystal heart from within her ribcage.
Take the crystal heart. This is her one, though.
Now, take both the glowing heart and the darkened heart and insert them into the top of the machine.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster. Insert heart, soul transfer machine.
Press the button. This is promising. Her soul now resides in the new heart. Retrieve the heart. Next, receive the new heart within Lamashtu's ribcage.
God, this is weird.
Finally, close her chest plate.
Should we? I feel like we should just leave, run in the other direction. We've created a monster here, I know it. Okay. Oh god.
And then, what happened? I feel strange.
You needed a new heart gem.
And you found one for me. Where did you get it?
Oh, I don't want to tell you. I destroyed Amalgam to get it.
Destroyed? I doubt that. I know of Amalgam. This would not be his first destruction. How was my soul transferred into my new heart?
Lahar made this machine for it.
Did he? Perhaps he does remember something even now. I should not find it surprising. He is the father of the Gilded, after all. Or he was. He forgot himself a long time ago.
Their father? You have a lot to tell me, it seems.
Yes. Yes. As I was saying, the story is long, but you won't understand otherwise. We were once Dwemer. We were dying, sent here to the sickness ward. The hospital. We did not want to die. Lahar thought to capture our souls upon death, and give us new life by planting the soul gems in metal bodies. In the soul gems, our souls drive our machine bodies, and in turn our bodies give consciousness to our souls. Many came before me. The first children. It didn't work properly. They lost themselves. Some were made later and worked better. For a time. The second children. Like Lahar. When it was my turn. To die. To have my body burned and my bones gilded. I was the third. The last. Do you know of the Battle of Red Mountain in Morrowind?
Oh, if I say no, then I think she'll probably explain it. But yeah, I'll let her do that.
It was a long time ago. The entire Dwemer race disappeared at its conclusion. Though I did not learn this until Ludwig found us, and I read the histories in his library, that was when I died. Right then. That exact moment. Cabranak struck Lorcan's heart with his tools. I died. And something went wrong. My soul was split in two. Half in the soul gem, and the other half. Becoming something different. My shadow.
Ah.
The first children assembled my machine body, but the Dwemer were all gone, and so was my flesh. Every sense was numb. Time passed. Maybe days, maybe years. And then she came to me. My other half. She let me know I was still here. You've met her too. My shadow. In the tunnels, and in the mausoleum. She is the one who followed you.
No. That's all explained now. But why didn't you tell me this earlier?
I didn't tell you because I didn't want to.
Okay.
I didn't know that she would try to keep you here.
She's the reason I can't use the travel machine. Why can't I leave?
Yes. She must be. Though I don't know why she would do that. Whatever the reason, I can help you. If you will help me.
Help you with what?
She is a part of me. I want to be reunited with her. If we defeat her and I cast Soul Trap on her, perhaps we can be rejoined. She is in Erndiran. Help me reach her and help me defeat her. If she is no longer a shadow, she should have no power over you. There is no need to answer right now. Just find me if you want to accompany me down there.
No, thank you.
In the meantime, ask me any further questions you may have. I promise to be more forthcoming this time.
I knew you were hiding something. Completed the crystalline heart. If you're feeling more forthcoming, as you put it.
Yes, ask your questions.
Why was your clan trying to gain metal bodies?
Cagrenac was not the only one searching for immortality. We had a different method in mind, and perhaps a more pressing need. Mortal disease cannot be denied, no matter how much we may have wanted to. And yet, Cagrenac's genius in the construction of the brass god could not be ignored. Our gilded bodies are new medium in miniature.
Who is Cagrenac? We already know, actually. I made a video with a little bit of lore at the end about Cagrenac, because you can actually get his dagger, which is one of the Dwemer artifacts within Skyrim. It's got a very interesting quest. I highly suggest you check out the video. It's like a 20-minute video. It's really interesting. If you like the lore of this DLC, you'll probably like that video. It's very good. Okay, who is Cagrenac for those of you that don't know?
He was the chief tonal architect. Do not ask me to explain what that means. I never understood it myself. We all heard the rumors, but Red Mountain is far distant from Lamashtu. If you are pondering the disappearance of the Dwemer, I'm afraid I have no answers for you.
It's so well written into the lore of the Elder Scrolls. It's amazingly good. If you're a machine, why do you have a skeleton? We kind of already understand that, but...
Being given a new alien machine body is not an easy thing. We are made of our own bones to ease the change. Those that came before, without gilded bones, did not survive the trauma. Also, I know you've met Amalgam. He discarded his bones, and his new warped body further warps his already damaged mind.
That's why I was laughing when we killed him, because I don't think we actually killed him. What is that wailing sound the shadow makes?
The process by which we were gilded was dangerous, involving great heat, molten metal and noxious vapors. The act was accompanied by a warning alarm. That is the sound my shadow makes. It is the last thing I heard before I died.
You were with the shadow in the mausoleum, though. You're in contact. I mean, well, you are.
She comes to me sometimes, but she cannot speak, and I doubt she understands me. It's as if she just wants to be near.
That's creepy as... Do we have to fight the shadow for you to be reunited? Can we take a pass on that one?
Yes. She won't understand. She has grown wild. We will need to force her.
No. No, we don't. Why?
That is all. Then.
Okay, then I guess we're going to help. Lamashtu.
Yes.
I'm ready to go to Nundril with you.
Good. We shall likely find shadow in the inoculatory where the gilded were made. It is in direction of flow, deep in Lamashtu. The door was locked last I was there, but I should be able to open it. Be aware that my brethren will attack me just as they do you. I cannot die, but I shall wear this, so that you do not mistake me for the enemy.
LOL.
Do not mistake me for the enemy.
Okay.
To reiterate, we need to defeat my shadow, not kill her. We can't kill her, she's a ghost. However, it will let me cast a soul trap spell on her, and we can be reunited. Let's go.
Oh dear. What's she got? A dwarven sword. Find the shadow in Nundril. Okay, here we go. Let's go, guys. This is one of the best written stories I've ever had, I think. Of any mod I've ever played. Even, you know, comparable to better than many of the quests in Skyrim, actually. I'm very impressed. Now, before we actually leave on this quest to find and, I guess, kill or soul trap the ghost with Bay, I'm actually going to go around all the rooms and I'm going to quickly find, I think there's like 4 journals that we were told about. And then we can read those and, you know, sort of get a complete picture of the lore here. because I find it quite interesting. So let's start off with the Clockwork Castle Mage's study. Now this is obviously... Why is there creepy music playing? Here's the desk. Ludwig's journal, 2 of 4. Okay, so I guess what I'll do is I'll like collect them all. And then we'll just read them all, you know, so in order. So it makes sense, I guess. Look at this dragon. The most derpy dragon I've ever seen in my life. Lol. Derpy McDerp face. The workroom is there. Okay, so we found this one. Let's just go up this staircase here. This is amazingly... Oh, to the glass garden. Okay. Go up here. We haven't visited any of the rooms in this house, so it'd be quite nice to have a little tour, actually, before we head out to kill the ghost. So he said he actually put all the plants back in here, and obviously it's working now because it's warmed up by the steam. So that's very good. I don't think there's a journal here, though. Just plants, really. Which I don't need, so let's head back down to the study. God, I love that loading screen. It's so satisfying. It's so good. Okay, let's go into the workroom. It's weird that the same music that's playing in the study is connected to Amalgam, because obviously he was the evil one. Activate cold water. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. That's amazing. Just the attention to detail. Like, there's no need for that unless you're, like, role-playing or something, but... It's just crazy that they included that. Chest assorted prepared materials. Everything's labelled. It's so amazing. So this is the workroom. Where does this staircase take me? Oh, it looks so good. The Clockwork Castle Hall. And then this staircase takes me to the castle hall as well. And what's this door on the right here? Because the armory, okay. This looks cool. Very cool. Man, there's so much stuff you can display here. Oh, it's a more... Oh, this is great. Look at this. They've even got mats so you can put the weapon on and just, like, appreciate them. Beautiful. I love it. And all the Dragon Priest masks can go here, I guess. Ah, you know I do love a good armory, guys. Holy raw. This is awesome. They've also got labeled... Oh, so you press the button, it transfers the item in categories into the different rooms. It's so clever. So clever. I'm blown away, to be honest with you guys. Right, so there's not actually a book in the armory that I can see. Let's go back to the castle hall. We get a quick house tour, though, guys, which, I mean, to be honest, who doesn't love a good house tour? It is very good.
I did not mention it earlier, but I have some good news.
That's good to hear.
While you were away, I was able to locate replacement glasswork for the alchemy and enchanting tables in the mage's study.
Great.
Yes, and the steam pipeline repaired. Conditions in the glass garden are very favorable for plant growth. Please let me know if you would like me to show you to the mage's study or the glass garden.
Oh, I can trade with him now as well. What's he actually trading?
Here is what I have access to.
Adventurer's backpack. Alright, let me go into one of these other rooms. On the other floor. The master bedroom. Oh, where the magic happens. I'll be taking Lydia here once I can finally travel back to Skyrim. Oh. Thank God that's over. The Legend of Red Eagle. I did a quest video about that. And also a lore video. Very interesting. Here is the next journal. Journal 1 of 4. Ludwig's Journal Part 1. A few gold coins and a strong box. Oh, I love how they have the sofas as well. It looks pretty in here, doesn't it? Oh, a toilet. What? Oh my God, is this... Really? I'm getting my fur wet now. You are now clean from bathing, okay? I think the shower actually works as well, but I don't know how it works. It's even got like a fire to keep the bath warm and stuff. So you have hot water. This is the bed. Excuse me. Fireplace. This is fantastic. A little study in there as well. Love that. Let's go back to the castle hall and find the final piece of the puzzle. The diary entry. I think it's actually inside here. The travel room. Still can't use. Ah, here it is. It's hidden away on the floor. Part 3 of 4. Between the pages of this journal, you find a key tied to it, labelled which reads Master Bedroom Wardrobe. So that will have the final part of the journal in. So let's go back to the master bedroom. Then we can finally read them all. One sec. Is it? How do... Ah, it's a secret passage. Oh, I love that so much. All the old books fall out. Oh, yes. There's even some cobwebs. And that's the water pipe, which is broken. Can I fix that? No. Okay. Why? Oh, no way. That's his body, isn't it? Ludwig's journal. 4 of 4. Smithing skill increased. Oh, I guess he was a master of the Dwemer. A bed of dust. Quest completed. Oh, now I understand the name for it. He has so many potions of cure diseases, but obviously, like, he died of some kind of disease then. The show and tell of this mod is very clever, you know. An empty safe. Okay. Let's go into the bedroom and read.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to...
What are you doing?
I found a corpse.
That must be Ludwig. He used to live here with us. I had not spoken to him for a long time.
Yeah, you said.
I suppose he must have died in there.
How? Why is he still in there?
I forgot about death. It was a long time ago for me.
You forgot?
I am nearly 4,000 years old. For me, time is difficult. Men and Myrrh are victims of time, whereas I turn for a moment to ponder, and when I turn back, you're all dead.
And Ludwig.
Towards the end, Ludwig shut himself away and would see no one. Items such as food and books were sent up using the pneumatic tube system. For a time, Lamashtu continued to deliver his food, and the food was eaten. I believe now that the vermin began to eat the food once Ludwig stopped.
And what now? His body is still in there.
Caretaking is Lamashtu's sole interest. You should ask him.
Okay. Before I ask him, I want to read these journals, though. Let's sit down here. With my glass of wine. Oh yeah, come sit down next to me. I'll read you a bedtime story. Probably a creepy one. Let's have a look. Part 1. I wonder if we'll find out what led to his death. I am thinking it's probably a disease, but... 3rd of Evening Star, 4th Era, 16. Today, we laid my father to rest in the mausoleum. It is a strange feeling knowing that his shell just lies in there alone, and that at any time I could go and look upon it, as if he was still there. Instead, I shall honour his wish and begin the keeping of this journal. It's past time I did. He certainly prodded me into it for long enough. Should this first entry be a commemoration of father's life? I lack the words to adequately describe him, I think. His achievements are familiar to most. Everyone knows the Clockwork Trading Company. There is little I could add, unless that would be of interest, I'm sure, coming from me. I can say, however, that he shall be missed. We commend thee, and I lay thee to rest. Maximilian Choldovich, father. 10th of Morning Star, 4th Era, 17. It occurs to me that for this journal to be of any use to anyone, I should explain who I am. My name is Ludwig Choldovich. I can't pronounce your second name. Now Lord of the Castle, I suppose. Lord of the trade route to nowhere. It barely entered my thoughts as a child, as I have no memory of living anywhere else, but our castle is truly remote. It was Father's grand project, a new trade route between Skyrim and Morrowind, administered by the Cultivet Company alone. A fool's project is what they called it. How could it replace the Sea of Ghosts route, they would ask. What of the phenomenal expense of the tunnel under the mountains, said others. But Father's plan was more simple. Why forge a new path when one can reclaim an old one? Tolval's crossing was too dangerous and too far south in any case. The mysterious tunnels that Father set his mind and considerable fortune to, and he never did reveal how he knew of them, were not too far from the port in Windhelm. He knew no name of those tunnels, and since then beneath the Velothi Mountains, he and all the workers came to simply call them the Velothi Tunnels. Clearing the way was dangerous, but the work involved was relatively slight. The tunnels emerged in a small valley high in the mountains before plunging beneath the rocks again, down into Morrowind. Cultivet Castle was built in the valley, a gatehouse in the centre of the would-be trading route. And that is how I grew up, observing the construction of our castle, watching and pestering the builders, stonecutters, carpenters and smiths. Tools and machines fascinated me. Hammers and saws, pulleys and levers. I relished seeing the walls go up and the rooms take shape. Father was more keen on the furnishings. They had to match the latest fashions of faraway High Rock. That was home to him, and to Mother. I was too young to remember it well, but they are distinctive. Everything went wrong in the Red Year. Not merely for us, but it was the death of so many. But that was when the tunnel down to Morrowind fell in. Killing the workers inside, it was the end of Father's grand project. Even if our route had survived, the people of Morrowind did not. There was no one left to trade with. Mother died not long after, along with my sister who would have been. So much went wrong. The castle was nearly completed by then, and though, again, people called him mad, my father elected to have it finished. Certainly called off and cut short. I think the armory was originally intended to be another grand entrance hall, leading into quarters for prestigious guests, a ballroom and such, but still, it became Clockwork Castle, our home. My aunts and uncles always said that Father never really recovered from those days. Why else would he choose to stay in a place that came to represent his very dear failure? Father may have founded it, but they took on the running of Clockwork Castle for some time following. My siblings meant to take up the business also. Also, they informed me during their brief visit to inter our father. They may have been anxious to leave the castle once they were old enough. They could not stand the isolation. But of course, I remained here with my father and the staff. I remember I was sorely disappointed when the last of the construction came to a close. Some of the carpenters and smiths had treated me almost as an apprentice, but then they had to leave. And then there was nothing more to do. Father had noticed my interest in the intricate merchants though, and diverted them into trade with intricate jewellers. It was exactly what I wanted, but it suits me well enough, and I can labour at home in the castle. It's also very profitable. And there you have it, I suppose. Lord Ludwig Koldovich, the jeweller. Okay, there we go. Ludwig's journal 2. I bet he got interested in soul gems. 12th of last seed, 4th era, 17. Now that Father is gone, they pester me to expand the mausoleum in readiness for my eventual passing. Next in line to die. Fine, I shall order the excavation. It's like turning over a rock and finding the twisting tunnels of an ant nest exposed to the sky. And yet, here, the inhabitants do not scatter or erupt in panic. They merely stood and stared with those red pin pricks for eyes. 7th of Rain Hands, 4th era, 18. I should explain. I'm expanding the mausoleum. The workers broke through into some ancient catacombs of the Dwemer. They were beneath our feet, beneath the castle all this time. Perhaps it should not be too surprising the Velothi tunnels are home to some Dwemer ruins also. It's also strange though. Where do I begin? I've read about the Dwemer animunculi, all I could lay my hands on, as those were some of my favourites. but I have never seen any mention of what we found here. The workers called me down when they were about to breach the wall, and there we all stood, clustered around the hole. On the other side was our mirror image, a congregation of metal men staring back at us with their glowing eyes. I was afraid. We all were. But while the workers all fled the mausoleum, I remained frozen in place. Expecting your immediate death is a significant shock, but an even greater surprise awaited me. A metal woman came forward and spoke. She spoke to me. At first her words were unrecognizable. Was it the Dwemer language? Then she spoke in Cyrodiilic that was slow and halting. No harm, she said. I could manage no response. No harm, she said again. But this time to the metal men and woman behind her. Now she stands here in the study with me, reading the books. I think she asked for them. I brought her here on the day of the breach, but I have forgotten what we spoke of. I said a lot in my panic and she said very little. It all happened so quickly. Her brethren have all remained behind her down below, but she has not left the study. 12th of Rain's Hand, 4th era, 18. Her name is Lamashtu. Her progress in learning Cyrodiilic is astonishing. She reads my books and listens to the conversations of the staff, and already I can converse with her easily. The servants are not glad to have this audience though, that much is clear. They are plainly afraid of what we have uncovered, but it is just as plain to me that the metal means no harm. As Lamashtu said, Lamashtu has promised to show me Numundril, for that is the name of the Dwemer catacombs beneath us. Actually, she has said that she will have her, I suppose, brother Lahar show it to me. I think she wants to stay in the study. She says that she and her metal brethren are called Gilded, but I am yet unsure what they are exactly. Apparently they have always been beneath our feet and have never ventured out, though do resemble an Emuculi. That is all I can say. I realise more and more each day that the discovery of the Gilded is a monumental one, but Lamashtu has requested privacy. I'm not sure of her reasons, but I can certainly think of my own. Dwemer Emuculi are known to be generally hostile and quite dangerous. I dread the thought of what might happen if some kind of military attention fell on them. The staff may spread tales, how could I stop them? But I've heard of how they speak of this discovery. I doubt anyone will believe the particulars of their tales. They will be thought of as just that, tales. First of Second Seed, 4th era, 18. The resources to be found in Numundril are beyond my ability to court, or really value. In particular, that wonderful metal, that famous Dwemer metal that confounds all of us who try to unlock the secrets of its fabrication. I did put the question to Lamashtu. I am no smith or alchemist, is all she would say. And she answered many of my questions about the truly amazing machines down there, though I can barely sleep. It feels like my mind is on fire with possibilities. Lahar is taken to his new job well too. After showing me some of Nirnandrau, he followed me back to the castle. I did not mind even to begin with. He was almost as well spoken as Lamashtu, and I think he must have been teaching him. And I think she must have been teaching him, or perhaps he already knew. Much like Lamashtu, Lahar began to follow the staff, observe their work, and before long he expressed an interest in taking up the caretaker of the castle. Already he is invaluable. He is careful, quick, and almost remarkably does not appear to need or want for sleep. 22nd of Second Seed. My studies of Nirnandrau machines consume my attention, as does my plan regarding what I learned from them. I look to Lamashtu as representative of that domain and her own kind. Behind Lahar, who is agreeable if simple, he is the only one able or perhaps willing to speak with me. The others merely stare as I pass and ignore my attempts at conversation. I asked her permission to salvage what scraps of metal could be found lying broken, useless in the halls of Nirnandrau for use in my own work. However impassive her manner, she did agree. This is tremendously exciting. The metal can be melted down and reshaped as I desire, and there is no match for it to be had. I'll go to work. 25th of mid-year, 4th era, 18. The mausoleum has become a thoroughfare. Metal, warped scrap and whole pieces both is catered out of Nirnandrau and into the workroom by small groups of Gilded. There the casting mould awaits. Things are taking shape. It's very interesting, guys. We're only on the second journal and already we're uncovering the whole storyline behind this castle, really. I'm really glad I sat down and read them. Guys, if you like this kind of stuff, I'm actually also made, for those of you that don't know, a Skyrim-themed calendar for 2019 that you can currently get if you subscribe for 1 month. Just 1 month on my Patreon. It costs $29. I'll leave a link to my Patreon down below in the description. All you need to do is leave your address, and as soon as I get them professionally printed, I will post you one of these calendars. I have a quick flick through on the screen here so you guys can see what it looks like for yourself and see if that's something you're interested in. But that's a fun way for me to give back to those of you who are supporting me. If you guys don't want to do that, then, don't do it. But if you're interested, please go and check it out. Ludwig's Journal 304. First of Sun's Height, 4th Era, 18. The staff are all leaving. This has been building for some time. It's the fear of the Gilded. More and more of their number are effectively taking up resistance in the castle as they help with my work. As with Lamashtu and Lahar, they also took to observing the staff in their daily tasks. Never speaking, just watching. I think it all became too much. Perhaps it's for the best. I'm told that the company is not doing well. Less money is coming in, and in truth, it's just a relief. I never knew what to say to them anyway. Even to Annalise, she's always kind to me. She's actually asked me to leave as well. That's not something I could do though, especially not now. I could have sworn that she looked disappointed. It would be so nice to think of why that might be, but that can't be. It's just my imagination. Still, it's sad to think that I will likely not see her. In any case, Lamashtu was quick to point out that the staff are not even truly required any longer. Not with her brethren being here and able to take up the work. Today I offered to pay them all a wage for this work, but Lamashtu declined, saying that all they needed was something to occupy them. Lahar echoed this sentiment. I suppose I will have to take them at their word. None of their brethren will speak to me after all. 3rd of Hearthfire, 4th Era, 20. Behold the common tap of spigot. The pipes of cast metal to ferry the water, the appropriated Dwemer pumps, and the steam to make it go. Steam! Steam under pressure. It makes it all go. Now I have the water to turn on a tap, heated water even. The Dwemer boiler was perfect for the task. 23rd of First Seed. Today I have heard that the Koldovich Trading Company is no more. By accounts, it was slow decline since the Red Year and Mother's death, but now it has finally happened. We all have our share of remaining wealth, and it is not insubstantial. However, I do not have to worry for myself, for my remaining family. Indeed, I have continued my jewelry business all this time, even overseeing some of the gilded in creating additional pieces. Some things need to be arranged, but overall, this is nothing to fret over. Things here won't change. 5th of Rain's Hand. I can't abide first time meetings. Can anyone? No one knows what to say to one another. Who are you, they would say. What is it that you do? By which means, of course, they reply, please describe your quantifiable worth to society in a short sentence. That's so true, literally. Whenever someone's like, oh, you're a YouTuber. How much money do you make? Because I've not heard of that job. And then they value your existence on how much money you make, not how much you actually contribute to society by making people happy, which I think is also really important to me personally. Anyway, 6th of Frostfall, 4th Era. Father's beautifully glassed garden perched atop the castle never did function as he wanted. It would never hold the warmth that the plants needed. It all leached out into the frigid mountain air, and the plants froze and died. Now that I can tap into that seemingly endless supply of precious steam produced by some unknown means deep in Nurndril, the glass garden is finally as warm and vaporous as I could ever want. 14th of Sun's Dawn. An amazing discovery today, though I would not have known if not for Lamashtu. In excavating a new room for the cellar, the workers struck what appears by its curve to be a great metal sphere. Dwemer metal, like everything down here. But unlike the others, it seems to be a Dwemer manufacture I have not seen yet. Lamashtu came back to look at it, and it seems that she recognises it. After some thought, she said that it had been called a machine far walking without steps. A rough translation, I think I am simply calling it the travel machine for now, as that is apparently what it's for, teleporting me to far off locations and back again. She speaks of it as a barely remembered thing from one's childhood, but Lamashtu tells me that the machine is like a crossroads, with paths striking out in many directions from it, At the end of each road is a terminus machine, and this is where one would appear upon entering a travel machine here. Similarly, entering a terminus machine would bring one back here. I have asked for the workers to uncover the sphere in its entirety. It is really exciting. 30th of Hearthfire 4th Era 23. The travel machine is to be my own grand project. Quite early on we found some kind of panel on its surface that could be removed. Behind it were etched series of pictograms that Lamashtu aided me in deciphering. We have concluded that they have given the instructions on assembly and operation of the machine. The work required is lengthy and arduous. It would be impossible were there not gilded here to help me. A large chamber to house it must be dug out and supported with stone walls. The machine itself has been buried in the dirt for who knows how long. Excavation continues, but it's painstaking, and those that must be raised up, right and supported in place must be cleared thoroughly inside and out. Broken pieces must also be recast and replaced. It also requires an extraordinary amount of piping, though there is a lot going unused down in Nerdendrell. But will it be enough? Oh, I guess he's took the piping, maybe. I expect this to take years, but by the power of teleportation, and not just in the hands of powerful mages, it's hard to imagine what boon it would have been to the Koldovich company had it not closed its doors. 22nd of 2nd Seed. Work on the travel machine continues. In the meantime, I have been inspired by the idea of the travel machine to create my own structure that facilitates fast transportation of items across the castle. It relies on the principle of pneumatic pressure to propel it through the pipes that have been laid beneath the floors and behind the wall. My first practical test was a pipe that ran between the terminal and the kitchen, and one in my bedroom. It worked much as I expected, though the first attempts were messy. I shall expand the structure of pipes throughout the castle, and it will be more disruptive than the gaslights were, as the pipes are much larger, but worth it in the end, I feel. The funny thing is, I also have heard that rather than the Koldovich Castle, people have come to call my home Clockwork Castle for all of the machinery here. It's a fitting name, I think, and I like it. 11th of Rain's Hand, 4th Era. I am frustrated by the interminable work required by the travel machine. So much work, yet so little to occupy my time. I simply lack the strength of the Gilded, and now there is nothing I can help with. To alleviate my boredom, I recently began work on my method for controlling the machine. It is something I've given a lot of thought to, how to inform the machine where I want to go. I am sculpting what I think will become a cast metal relief map of Skyrim. Only Skyrim, Lamashtu assures me, that it could not take me anywhere else. Once cast, it will affix a mechanical button in place on my map that the machine can take me to, as we saw already. It shall be beautiful. I certainly have the time to make it so. 4th of Frostfall. Today, one of the Gilded workers struck me as we were working on the travel machine. He'd been giving me odd looks all morning, so I'd kept an eye on him in turn, and saw the blow coming, in time to mostly evade him. He still caught me on the arm and knocked me to the floor, raising a nasty bruise. He stood above me silently, all the while, and for a moment I feared for my life. Fortunately, I heard Lahar rounding the corner and looked at him for help, but now it was Lahar looking at me oddly, sprawled on the floor, as the worker had already turned back to his task, as if nothing was amiss. Still, I had to tell Lahar what had happened. I hardly feel safe around the Gilded these days. He said a soft something to the worker that I didn't catch, and my assailant left for Nurmendrill without a word, later to be replaced by a different Gilded. I am thankful that the machine is nearly finished. 20th of Sun's Dusk. I guess some of the Gilded are becoming lost, though we don't know why. It's like the turning of a musical instrument, fine adjustments until the right tone is struck and the travel machine stirs into life, a bright blue portal shining in its heart. This is how we find where the thing can take us, which tremendous machines out there yet function. I was reluctant to go through the shimmering portal. How could we truly know where it led? Or even if I would arrive with both life and limb intact? What if a friendly person awaited me on the other side? Lahar did not seem to share my concerns, however, and strolled through the portal before I knew what he intended. He was gone for so long that I thought him lost, and when he returned, he was caked in dirt as if he had dug his way out of a grave. I saw the banners of Whiterun. He said to me, "The caravan brings us mead from there." I marked down the tunnel as we moved to the next. Lahar went fearlessly into the portal again and again, though now I made him cover his metal body with what clothes could fit. He would be a strange sight indeed to anyone that might see him. Otherwise, 9th of Evening Star, 4th Era, 33. Today I took my first steps outside the Clockwork Castle in over a decade. How is it that so much time has passed? It was well outside the castle too. The travel machine works. I stood outside Markarth Clockwork Terminus for several minutes, watching the crowds across the river, entering and leaving the city. So many people. And that was enough for me. I returned to make this entry. There were long years in which I thought, when would this day ever come? But now it is here. The machine works. Now there is no more need for the caravans to make this trip through the Velothi tunnels, delivering my supplies. Lahar has said that he will do it instead, using the travel machine. And we know that because we found the journal in episode 1 about the merchants. They actually seem to die in the tunnels because the journal was still there, and so were the bedrolls. 18th of mid-year. This morning I awoke to find that all the gilded, except Lamashtu and Lahar, had left during the night. Lahar says they have all returned to Nernandrel. To be honest, I am relieved. I was beginning to feel like a prisoner in my own home, and I dared not enter a room if one of the workers was in there doing their chores. I don't know how to properly describe it, but for some time now they've extruded such a sense of menace that I feel in danger around them. Fortunately, Clockwork Castle has earned its name, with all the work I've done here and the labour-saving machines. The workers are no longer needed. Lahar is more than enough after all, and there is no great entourage here to feed and clothe. No mothers, fathers, children and dogs. There is just me. Only me. Now we get on to the final entry, and I think this is going to be a very long video because I didn't realise how long it would take me to read all these journals, but they're so interesting and insightful into the location and its lore and backstory, and I'm just loving it, to be honest. 5th of Sun's Height, 4th Era, 37. An awful realisation has begun in my thoughts lately, or rather a realisation, a question. If I were to die, say of some accident in the workroom, how long would it be until I was found? The answer, I think, is that the longer I stay here out of the world, the more any knowledge of memories of time will fade from those out there, and the longer it would be until I was found, tending towards infinity. It's almost mathematical. 13th of Evening Star, 4th Era, 44. It occurs to me that I am so accustomed to the useful mechanisms of the Clockwork Castle that I can scarcely imagine life without them. And yet, do devices like these exist anywhere else? They could improve the lives of others too, but would anyone accept them? What real use would these contraptions be? They could ask, or could they possibly afford to build such extravagances? And yet I spend all my days in the workroom crafting machines and objects of utility and beauty. Perhaps one day, when I've done enough, when I'm finished, I can show it all to someone. 10th of Frostfall, 4th Era, 53. I cannot remember the last time I actually spoke out loud. Once there was so much to say, so much to learn from Lamashtu, and much to organise with Lahar. But now, everything's settled, every moment runs into the next, with the precision and predictability of a perfect machine. Every day is exactly the same. There is nothing more to say. When was the last time I spoke to someone from outside the castle? Someone not made of metal. It must have been around when the travel machine was completed. Had it really been so long? I don't know that I could raise my voice anymore, not even to save my life. I don't want to be heard. 29th of First Seed, 4th Era, 54. They're warm to the touch, aren't they? Am I not warm? Lamashtu, Lahar, the lady in the walls. They are all so cold. 1st of Hearthfire, 4th Era, 60. Clocks driven by soul gems, marking time for an eternity. Are they aware? What do they see with no eyes? What do they feel with no skin? 7th of Mid-Year, 4th Era, 68. Does the mind require other minds to inform its thoughts? Do they otherwise reflect back uselessly and endlessly, unchanged? An echo chamber. But I say nothing, but I say nothing. Could I still speak? I dare not speak. 7th of Sun's Dusk, 4th Era, 83. I do nothing but sit here in this chamber, the cobwebs growing around me, and the dust staining my skin. I could not bear the eyes upon me, and the weight of the judgment behind those eyes would be too much. as well as I think, I shall simply stay here instead. There is a feeling rising in me that my time here is growing short. It is obvious to me that I should note down my last will, but there is no one to give it all to, and I have nothing to offer in any case. Who would want what I have? I don't want to reflect on my life. It was no good. Really, it's no good. Surely, though, it was better than nothing. Such a sad story. That is such a sad story. Oh my god. A fantastic story, but a very sad one. It's daytime currently. It's actually a working clock, that. See, the attention to detail this moderator has is nothing short of immaculate. Man, that's sad. Okay, I guess we've got to go and kill or control this ghost. And guys, I'm going to do that in the next episode. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the journal read through as much as I did. I absolutely adored it. Next episode will be a bit more action based. You know, I think these episodes have gone from a lot of talking, a lot of lore and backstory, into kind of quite funny action based moments. Let me know which one you prefer if you're still here watching, because honestly, I'm not sure, and I was worried about that because I think some people watch me because I make like funny videos, funny like clips and stuff like that, but those same people don't necessarily watch me for my lore videos or book reading series that I've been doing. So let me know what your thoughts are, guys, and I am actually planning on doing a physical book for the book reading series of each one that we make. I've been looking into the best way to produce it and the most affordable way. I'm going to be selling it on my Skyrim or my mod list website that I'm doing with Ultimate Immersion, and it might be available to buy on there, or if not, it will be on Patreon. I don't know what the price is going to be yet, but check it out. I'll link it down below in the description as soon as it's ready. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks for all your support on this series. I hope you're enjoying it, man, because I just find it so immersive. I think it's fantastic. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day, and goodbye.